What's up, Internet? We are back with the Master Mega Games Collection GBA thing. I'm never going to get the actual name of this thing right. It's confusing. But it's Game Gear and Master System games on a thing that has Mega in the title, but no Mega Drive games. This time, we're taking a look at Fantasy Zone. Now, this is a pretty important game for me. This was the third game I ever reviewed. And, that's kind of a big review for me because, it was the first time I was ever put on a website like front page and stuff on the now no longer existent screwattack.com. I'm bitter about that, but that aside, it was a big deal for me to get front page because of my review. It was also a big review for me because that was the one where I started not scripting things. It was also my third review, but, it's interesting because I had written a script for it, and as I was reading it, like, the script was somehow, like, deleting itself as I was reading it on word processor or whatever. So I just said, screw it, I know what I need to say, I'm just gonna talk. And honestly, I felt like my emotions came through better, which is tough for me, because I know I'm kind of monotone. I'm actually kind of not terribly pleased with my own voice, but that's how it is. But it's ironic, because I've also heard, like, a million comments saying, oh, it's obvious you script things, you need to just do things better because, you're so monotone, but it's like, no, that's actually just my voice. To this day, I still get comments about that, which is funny. Although I am a little bit, annoyed about my own voice like that. Like, I can't help it either, which sucks. I'm bad at this game, if you can't tell. But, let's try again. Fantasy Zone is a brutally hard game, in case you can't tell. I mean, I'm awful at these games, but Fantasy Zone is just brutally hard as well. But yeah, this features our little flying spaceship pal, Opa Opa, who I have a figure of, and I'm way too proud of that fact. I spent way too much money on that, but still, it was worth it because he's such an important character. First of all, he was one of Sega's very first mascots. I believe he even predated Alex Kidd, because he was a Sega mascot before they even tried to make home console stuff. This was originally an arcade game. There's a few other Sega mascots that predated Alex Kidd as well, but Opa Opa is like the first one I'm really familiar with. And he had a pretty prominent chunk of importance in my childhood, which is why I've got that figure, and I'm way too proud of that. Also, if I find the time, I'm going to try and insert some, like, reference cards, so if that's annoying, I apologize, but I've been trying to figure out the whole card system on YouTube to try and get more of my stuff viewed. I tried it on my N64 collection video, and that didn't work out so well because I realized I could only put 5 down on one game, or one video, and I have a video for, like, everything I talk about, so it's hard for me, whereas this should be easy. Even though playing this is incredibly hard. Let's see if we can get to level 2. Please tell me we can. Okay. I want to say, like, the actual arcade game's a little bit easier, but again, it might be the fact that I'm playing a, like, binary input with an analog input. So it might not necessarily be the best. I've heard a lot of people complain about, like, playing games on their PC, like 8-bit stuff, using, like, proper analog sticks and how it doesn't work, and it's like, yeah, I could see that not translating well, but at the same time, as much as I like those old, like, binary 8-bit controllers, I really, really like the comfort like a control stick actually affords you. Okay, we want laser beam might be good, actually, by twin beams. Now, the interesting thing about this series is you can buy all these engines that make you go faster, but this is like one of the first games that ever really taught you don't want the best stuff, because the best stuff actually makes you really uncontrollably fast. Also, one thing I don't like about this is a lot of the power-ups are timed, like bombs and better guns are all set to a timer, which means you can't, like, permanently equip yourself until you die, which I think is kind of a missed opportunity. So we'll have double bombs here for the whole time. But now we won't because we died. Fantasy Zone, it's a tough game. I've got a history of Fantasy Zone, kind of like I said. It was a big part of my childhood. Whoa! I've never seen stuff go backwards like that. That's interesting. Oh well. Let's restart and go on. Now, I've cued people to sing before, but now it's my turn with Fantasy Zone 2. And I know this song off by heart. This is my childhood. This is the first game I ever played. I need to review this game at some point. This is actually why I bought this cartridge in the first place. I've also made a video on that when I first got it, just so I had an excuse to play this game. This is literally why Opa Opa is such a big deal to me. Like, I played this game so much. It was so bright, it was so colorful, it was like the most amazing thing ever. And it was like a video, but I could control what happened. And you know, when I was a kid, I used to rent videos all the time. Like, I'd rent, for me specifically, it was compilations of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episodes. But then I played video games, like specifically this, and it was like, whoa, this is like a video, but I actually have control over it. This is like a life-changing thing. I need to know about this stuff, and from that, I wanted to learn how to make games, and I did. And then, like, a whole bunch of really sad stuff happened, but then I started making videos on the internet, and it was, you know, marginally better. But this is a really cool game, and unlike the original Fantasy Zone, which was an arcade game that was then ported to the Master System, this was actually just a straight-up Master System game that then about 30 years later, for a PS2 compilation, they made a sort of faux arcade version of. And I'd really like to get that compilation at some point, because this game is just too damn good not to experience every version of it. But I had this game for a good many years, and that was... It took me a good many years before I ever managed to beat the first level. Because like the previous one, it's a really, really painfully difficult game. My best way of kind of describing this game to someone who's never seen it, but has more of a familiarity with the NES, aside from the fact that there was a Famicom Fantasy Zone and an NES one, both unlicensed and both not very good. It's sort of like Twin Bee, but instead of being top-down, it's from a side view. And now shops don't appear randomly. You can go wherever or whenever, provided you know where to go, although their inventory is marginally more limited. But what's interesting is some of these shops are actually hidden and you have to find them. And it also means that if you die on a boss, you can still go to a shop because the boss is now hidden behind a door as well. And I like that feature. I don't like, oh, I died on the boss, I guess I'm gonna keep fighting bosses with nothing equipped. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't like that system. I like being able to go and power yourself up if you want. But this is the same tree, kind of, except he's creepier looking. And he's a lot harder because he's more proper Don Maku than ever. Oh, he's got so many stupid logs that will murder you. We're gonna go get the double bombs again, because, like I said, I like to power myself up, but the double bombs are, like, just ridiculously good against this boss. But, you know, this game alone was just such a big deal to me that I absolutely... Oh, we don't have enough. Crap. Okay, well, we're going without power-ups then. Going in pure. That's okay, I guess, except I'm gonna die horribly. But yeah, I own this game for absolutely forever, and I could never beat this boss. Like, it was hard enough getting to the boss, but defeating it, that was a huge pain. Alright, gotta collect the money so we can buy better stuff. And I think I managed to beat the boss to this level once when I was a kid. And I never got the chance to do that after, because that was about the point where my mom gave away our SMS, and... that sound haunts me. But this one's like some of the most super happy music I've ever heard. I love this song so much. Oh, that's my childhood right there. Okay, on to the next game, unfortunately. Next we have Forgotten Worlds. That sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you what this game is. It's by Capcom, apparently. Game level easy. Yep, that sounds good for us. I finally found him. This time, he's mine. Oh god, it's, I've seen a few games like this. What was it, Action in New York, or Scat, or whatever. I've seen a few games like this where you're just, like, a guy kind of, like, floating around. I've never liked these games. You're such a huge sprite for one thing, for what you are. And it feels like you don't have a lot of actual control over yourself. Either, like, especially with this one, like, you're just rotating the thing around you, and it just feels kind of loose and finicky. I do appreciate that you don't die instantly, though. That's kind of nice. I do like that I have a health bar instead of just dying in one shot, and I can use my little option buddy as a shield. That's kind of cool. It has something of a generous defense box. Ooh, a shop. I would like that. Okay, let's see what we can buy. Welcome! Okay, regain power. Transport speed. More power. Okay, so auto-tracking missile. Now, the thing I don't know about this is, do these things replace our option, or do they bolster it? Let's see. Can restore life. Up to 6 shots, I'll take that. And we'll take this, and grab that as well. Ah, it's sold out. Okay, so even... you gotta pay for it even if you don't really use it. Okay. Oh god, it shoots behind us. That's not ideal. Although, on the other hand, I can use this as a shield now. And I do appreciate that the armor actually changes your character's sprite a little bit. Like, that's actual, like, nice attention to detail. I'm a sucker for little things like that. The music is, not particularly interesting, and the visuals are a little bland, but I will say it plays well enough. Oh, I can sink myself into the ground without dying. That's a plus. Gradius is not, evidently. Oh, that might have been a mistake. I'm not sure we wanted to do that. If you want to play this really dangerously, you could sink your option into your opponent and, like, just have, like, the back shot hit him from within. That seems like a really dangerous way to play, though. Oh, I lost my armor. I should pay attention to that. It seems like once you let off this steam, once it's done, it's kind of done, which is good. Oop, can't fly through that for some reason. That's not consistent. Okay, let's grab this. Whoa, let's not die. Not dying would be a good thing to do. Alright. I guess this episode's mostly entirely going to be about shooters. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Can I destroy that? Yes, I can. This backshot actually does offer you quite a lot of different strategic options. I'm not sure I necessarily like it from like an ease of control perspective, but it's Junkman in blob form. Well, joke's on you, blob Junkman. I've got a shield, too. And mine shoots you. Uh-oh. Oh no, blob Junkman got the better of me. Game over. Although he looks suspiciously like Captain Commando there. And it's going to start over, so I think we'll continue on with the next game. Next is Gain Ground. Now, if I remember correctly, this was sort of like a shooter mixed with like a strategy game, sort of. I think. I remember playing a Famicom game that was kind of sort of similar conceptually. At least I compared it to Gain Ground. I was thinking of Gain Ground. I'm not sure if I was right, though. Okay, there's our exit. Whoa, okay. I'm gonna just say the obvious. I think we have to get to the exit. And I don't think we actually have to kill all these dudes. But we would very much like that power-up. Which I assume is what that is. Okay, I don't know what that did, but we got it. Oh, no. Huh? So we died, but somehow we won? Okay, I guess if you die at a failure state, it still counts as a victory. That's useful. Okay. So it looks like you can't shoot arrows sideways. That's not ideal. These guys don't seem to be moving. They seem just like stationary targets, though. Ooh, okay. So every weapon has a slightly different, like, grenade ability, too. This one's more like a javelin. Okay, I can work with that. So now do we have the boomerang, or is that because we died that we got the arrow as opposed to, like, the standard gun that we had before? Interesting. Hold on. Pause. Nope, there doesn't seem to be any way to, like, swap your abilities. That looks like a gun. I'm thinking, like, these other things are, like, extra lives for you. On a similar note, I've been trying to think of one game that's been stuck in my head recently, and I can't think of what it's called. That's kind of my problem, but it was a shooter where you played, like, an entire squadron of planes, but every, like, wingmate you had was, like, an extra life. I can't remember what game that was, though. It's kind of driving me crazy a little bit. I would like to know what the weird multi-lives as extra guns at the same time game was, but I can't think of what that is. Alright, there we go. Uh-oh, they're still spawning. The question is, will they stop spawning? Like, and is there a bonus to killing all of them, or should I just leave? Let's find out. Let's just go leave and see if we get a bonus. Okay. So exiting basically changes your character, sort of. Maybe you have to, like, move your entire platoon out, or something? I do like this sort of spinny bullet doom we've got going on. Uh-oh. Okay, now we go to the, spear guy. Oh no, spear guy died. Uh-oh. Back to bullet guy. Yeah, so each of the characters is basically, like, a different life. Grab that. Oh, we can only pick up one at a time, though. That kind of sucks. That means we have to be strategic with what we can pick up. The bigger issue being that we don't exactly know what those power-ups are. At least I don't. I do like Gun Guy, though. Gun Guy seems to be probably the most useful. Okay, stage 5. I'm seeing Shuriken and some kind of goblet. So I'm guessing ninja and... Oh no, Gun Guy! We needed you and your gun. Well, I think we get the idea. Not quite what I thought we were getting into, but not a bad game. Next is Galaxy Force, which I'm familiar with Galaxy Force 2. I remember it being a really subpar superscalar game. I'm not sure about this one, though. I'm guessing it's similar. Yeah, this looks a lot like Galaxy Force 2. Whoa, okay, choppiness. Yeah, this is just gonna be the shooter special, I guess. I'm okay with that. Although this, like every other superscalar game I've ever seen on the Master System, it's choppy and not great. I didn't even realize this was a Master System game, honestly. I mean, I knew there was an original Galaxy Force, but I'm pretty sure that was just an arcade game. I didn't realize there was a home release of it. I'm more familiar with Galaxy Force 2, like I said, but it's not a great game. Better than this one by a little bit, but that's just because it plays a little bit smoother. It's largely similar from what I remember, but again, it's been a while since I played that game as well. It's not exactly on my list of must-have Genesis games. Whoa. Still, this is pretty fun. I don't think I would play it over top of, say, Afterburner, but maybe Space Harrier, because I'm not a big Space Harrier guy. Also, this feels more proper sci-fi to me, which is cool. But, yeah, this seems like a good enough time. This is what Sega had instead of Star Fox, basically, except we got it a generation earlier, evidently. Although I'm not sure I'd say this aged as well as Star Fox, although that said, Star Fox hasn't exactly aged well either. Still, seems like a fun enough game. Very basic. But if you like Afterburner, this is basically Afterburner in space, kinda. And I like Afterburner. In fact, I would say it might be marginally a little bit smoother than Afterburner. A little bit. Maybe not a huge amount, but at least enough to be somewhat noticeable. Although I will say the music is nowhere near as good as Afterburner's. It's not bad, but I mean, it's hard to top Afterburner's song, because Afterburner's had a great soundtrack. Woo! Judging by the flashing on our shield, I'm guessing we're not doing so hot. I'm just gonna hazard that guess. But hopefully we're doing okay. But I don't think we are. I think that's our boss. Because it's big looking. And it's not blowing up easily. But now it's gone. And control has been wrestled away from me, so I guess we won! Hooray! We went in the giant donut planet. Whoa! 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 Okay. Okay. Also pallet cycling. Let's try again. Let's pick a different planet. Snow World. Foresty World. Rock. Other Foresty World. I think we'll go with Blue Foresty World, because that looks a little nicer. Scene C. Let's go. I do think these levels, from what we've played thus far, they feel a little bit longer than they maybe should be. Like, they kind of overstay their welcome. So not really throwing too much completely unique at us. The levels themselves seem a little bit different, but they feel like they could be doing a lot more. But that might just be like a resource limitation, like they couldn't really add much more. But it doesn't feel like it's kind of got the same oomph that Afterburner has. Like, this feels like it plays a little bit smoother than Afterburner, but Afterburner feels faster. And I know that's somewhat contradictory to say, but just feeling-wise, I think Afterburner feels a little bit faster, whereas this just feels like it hangs around a little bit too much without really feeling like you're going too far all that fast or experiencing like this awesome giant space adventure or anything. It also feels a lot easier, honestly. Although the floating rocks make me think this feels a little bit also Space Harrier-y. Although I'd say I like this better. Although Space Harrier did have its own things that make me like that game, kind of. Even if I'm not a big Space Harrier guy, it does have its advantages. Such as being able to fight a dragon and be able to control a dragon in the bonus stages. And that's mostly it. Also, they had Doms as enemies, which was kind of cool. Because weird Gundam crossover with Sega, I guess. Even though, of course, they weren't supposed to be there, I'm sure. That said, Sega's put all sorts of weird referencey stuff in their games back in the day. Shinobi did that pretty well, too. Okay, right. When do I need to go right? Up, there, there. Oh, but I'm going right up. Okay, that doesn't... I do not like those tunnel scenes too much. Do appreciate the pallet cycling, though. Anyway, we have now gone through 5 more games. Let's go over them. Fantasy Zone, an absolute classic that will stomp you into the dirt. Fantasy Zone 2, one of the most important games of my life, and a great soundtrack, and also it will stomp you into the dirt probably even harder. Forgotten Worlds, not a fan, but it does feel kind of vaguely sort of like Action in New York meets sort of R-Type a little bit. Not a big fan, but, you know, it's okay. Gain Ground doesn't seem like it's all that deep or anything, but it's an interesting concept. It probably could have been taken a little bit further. I know there is a Genesis version that might do it, but it was decent. And Galaxy Force, I could take or leave. It's okay, but I've played way better Superscalar games. Would I recommend this cartridge based on these past 5 games? Yes, I mean, Fantasy Zone 2 is right there. But the only thing about this I would really skip is Forgotten Worlds, and Forgotten Worlds was in and of itself a decent enough game, it just wasn't to my taste. I think these past 5 shooters were scaling between okay and actually really awesome. So if you want some good shooters, these past 5 will do it for you, and this cartridge will do it for you. Anyway, join us next time when we take a look at Ghouls and Ghosts. Oh, dear Lord. I'm awful at the NES version. How am I supposed to play the SMS version with any degree of competency? I guess we'll find out. But I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, subscribe to the show to see more, because we're doing this every single week, plus reviews, gameplay videos, and stream archives. Speaking of, you might want to check out my Twitch page to see streams live, mostly of Animal Crossing, but I do some other stuff. And you can subscribe there to get some emotes that we've made as well. And if you really want to make my day, check out the show's PayPal or Patreon. Support the show any way you can so that I can continue to do what I do to the best of my ability, which in this case is be bad at some really awesome shmups, and be kind of okay at some less awesome shmups, but have a great time doing it, because, come on, these are some great shmups. I like this cartridge for that, and I learned a thing. There was an original Galaxy Force on the SMS. Didn't know that. Kind of impressed. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, Internet.